Glastonbury Abbey was one of the richest and most powerful abbeys in England, and part of its notoriety came from it being the final resting place of King Arthur and Guinevere. But was it? Stories of the legendary king had been told in Welsh poetry since the 7th century, but around 1136, the story of King Arthur became hugely popularized all over Europe after a monk named Geoffrey of Monmouth wrote about Arthur in his History of the Kings of Britain. In a time where books were an incredibly rare commodity, it became one of the most widely read books in the Middle Ages. And because of that book, everyone knew about Arthur, his wife Guinevere, and that when he was mortally wounded, he was carried off to Avalon. In 1184, there was a giant fire which destroyed a large part of Glastonbury Abbey. Rebuilding began almost immediately with funding from King Henry II. Henry died soon thereafter, leaving the church without royal patronage, and pilgrimages had significantly decreased. They were out of money. It was then, in 1191, the monks alleged that they had found the remains of the legendary King Arthur and his queen between two pyramids deep in the ground, inside a hollow oak tree, and that there was an inscription that said, "Here lies buried the glorious King Arthur and Guinevere, his second wife, in the Isle of Avalon." This discovery led to quite an increase in funding and pilgrimages. By the end of the 1200s, the building of the church was complete. And in 1278, King Edward I and his wife, Queen Eleanor, came to Glastonbury Abbey, and a grand ceremony took place for the reburial of the bones of Arthur and Guinevere. The new tomb was said to be of black marble, with lions at the base, a crucifix at the head, and an image of Arthur carved in relief at the foot. The heads and the knee joints of Guinevere and Arthur were left out for people's devotion. And there the bones sat for 261 years until they were lost after all the valuables were stripped and removed from Glastonbury Abbey during the dissolution of monasteries under Henry VIII.